of myself on the microphone. So just beware, get up there, set your gear up very, very quickly, and you may get a chance to look over the door on your pen.
Yeah, heat 2, please, in the senior. Pete Spillman, Conan Takini, Simon Goss, Patch Puna, Catherine Maluli, Whanaki Forry. Heat 3, Island Jones, Connor Devoy, George Hawkins, Bruce Potaka, David Gordon, Roy Elliott. Just a quick call for Sean Edmonds, please. Sean Edmonds, if you're in the stadium, can you come up to the announcer's stand? Sean Edmonds.
So a bit more activity here this morning. The pressing semi-finals have been underway. And they're still working away here. One of our competitors ripping the bail out. Hope she's got it up to weight of 150. Plenty of encouragement from the children down there in the cheap seats. These shearers now have 4 sheep to shear. We've got on stand number 1 from Whangamomona, David Gow. On 2, Mark Taylor from Masterton. On 3, we have Lloyd Smith from Taihape. Lee Ronganui from Masterton on stand number 4. On number 5, we have Steve Jane for Wairarapa and Adam Morton down on the far end. He's rolling out, just brushing a little bit of grease off the comb there. He's also for Wairarapa. So a couple of East Coast boys up there on the far end.
Righto, we've got the weights here. Christine had 141 and Arfina did 145.5. We've got our second heat of a women's solo wall pressing semi-final. Kushla Abraham's here enjoying her school team cheering her on. They love you, Kush.
Oh, you fellas are noisy. Nau mai hara mai tamariki mā. Nau mai hara mai ki roto tēnei whare kuti kuti ngā hepe. Nau mai hara mai. Well done, kids. Thank you very much.
Beautiful sheep from Hikarangi up here on the board this morning. Look at them. Good, strong, big boned. They'll pump out the lambs throughout their life. They've had a little trip to town to display their talents here today. Let's hope they sit well for the shearers. And down there, the far end, the Wairarapa pairing doing pretty well. Steve Jane just about the finishing touches. Oh, a little bit of a kick and wriggle as she just wanted that little tassel left on her tail end. But she's out the porthole now and down for the outside judges. Looking at the board up there above the shearer stand, the time points are calculated at 1 point per 20 seconds of time. And of course, the second column, the board points, they are the average number of second cuts to the wool fibre that the shearer is committing. That's the average number per sheep, spread over 4 sheep in this case. The pen points have been calculated on an average over the 4 sheep as well, so we get it on the top one, in this case 2.8. So, and the total, and when the figures come up yellow at the end, that is the final judging, and we'll have that screen ticking over, and we'll probably have the top 18 taken out of it a little bit later on. So they're working away. Sheep number 4 coming onto the board. The Wairarapa lad, he's keeping the pace. We've got 5 minutes and 32 seconds gone so far. Doing extremely well. We've got about 7 heats in this program. Following the senior elimination round will be the PGG Wrights' junior shearing semi-final. Lloyd Smith from Tai Happy just rocking up onto the off the long blow now. Make sure he puts a big long blow in, because that last side can be a little bit difficult sometimes. The sheep start to squirm away on the board. Putting the big shots in across the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Remembering to keep that bottom tooth hard down flat on the skin. He's about to go and hit the red button. He's finished his... Oh, he's got 5 to shear. That's right, we've got 5 to shear. He's more onto it than me. In he goes, sheep number 5. Over the shoulder on the last side comes Stephen Jane.
Righto, we'll just get our second heat of the women's semi-final wool pressing underway. We've got Kushler and Sam. We've got our judges ready. Our timekeepers are ready. Presses, set, go. Interesting start here. Both into the bookwork straight away. Let the wool wait. Let it expand a little bit. All concentration. Back to you on the shearing board.
Yeah, up here, the big tall fella, Mark Taylor. Hey, you've got to bend down to get into the pen. He's a little bit behind the pace. He's only got sheep number 4 on the board. Davey Gower's got number 5. He's on the front stand. But out in front, it looks like it's Lloyd Smith from Tai Happy, just leading the way. Just maybe half a shot ahead of the man for Wairarapa, Adam Morton, down on the far end. Wronganu, he's got 5 on the board. In fact, he's out in front. He's doing, been sneaking in behind there. Haven't been watching him, and he's come across the shoulder on the last side. He's been shearing for the wool handlers this morning, so he's a little bit warmed up to the task. So, although they're totally different sheep, he was shearing long wool for the wool handlers. He's a second shear sheep. Probably got about 100 mils of wool on him. And he reaches for the button and stops the clock. All those shearers for heat number 2. Make sure you're down here on the left. Come on, guys. I can't see any purple singlets at all. It is your responsibility. If you want us to look after you up there on the board, it is your responsibility to be down here waiting for us prior to your heat.
Yeah, heat 2, Pete Spillman, Conan Takini, Simon Goss, Patch Puna, Catherine Maluli, Makanani Wari.
Tuma Mullins to see your mother.
Quick call, please, Sean Edmonds. Sean, if you're in the stadium, can you come and see us at the announcer's box, please, Sean Edmonds?
Mark Taylor's still got 1 in the pen, so he's got a little bit of work to do. Finishing touches down there for Adam Morton. Of course, it is a requirement of the shearers to wait till after the final shearer has completed. Mark's found the pace a little bit tough this morning. Just 9 3/4 minutes are gone so far. But he's not phased. He steps into the pen. Trying to keep his board points as low as possible and his outside points as well. You can see those yellow figures up there above the shearers now. Adam Morton, he's got a 38. He's doing all right. The 36, Davey Gower. Yeah.
Well, come over to the pressing for a little minute, John, while Mark Taylor's doing the finishing touches to his 5th sheep there. Really tight field in the senior, ladies and gentlemen. No real standouts this year. A lot of them have been winning shows in the same 5 or 6 right through, so it'll be worth watching. It's a lot of great shearers up there. But meanwhile, back at the pressing here, women's individual semi-final, and we're down to knitting, crocheting, sticking that wool together and grabbing a big bundle and filling these bins up. Very, very taxing job, kids. Who we got over here? We've got Kushla Abraham. Who's supporting Kushla, kids? Who's on Kushla's side? This one? There. You fellas over here, you be on Sammy's side. You cheer for Sammy, you guys cheer for Kushla. Come on, Kushla. Yes. Go, Kushla. Kushla Abraham. Knit that together. You get your knitting needles out and crochet it, wind it all together, stick it. You watch this. She's got good, strong legs. Here we go, children. Whoa. What a super lift that was. Into the box goes Sammy. Mark Taylor doing the finishing touches there, a local boy from Masterton up on the shearing stage. But Sammy into the corners, that's the trick. You've got to get those corners packed right up, eh, Morgan? Sensational. Sammy's on fire as Mark Taylor gets rid of a fifth sheep there, nice and pink. Kushla bangs in another big pile of wool. Over to you, John.
Okay, can we have the next heat up onto the board, please? Righto pronto.
Yeah, Pete Spillman on 1, Conan Takini on 2, Simon Goss shearing on 3, Patch Puna stand 4, Catherine Maluli on stand 5, Wanaki Whare on stand 6. Heat 3, Ilan Jones, Connor Delvery, George Hawkins, Bruce Pataka, David Gordon, Roy Elliott. Heat 4, Andre Cooper, Jordan Boys, Elliot Jones, David Kirkpatrick, Aaron Bell and Thomas Lima.
So this pressing, Gerald, it's ticking along all right down there. He's getting a bit of a perspiration on the brow.
Oh, yeah, well, we're down to semi-final time, so she's all action all right. Morgan's been down here all morning, keeping an eye on them, keeping them organised and keeping the crowd informed what's going on. But at this stage, we're getting the boxes filled up. Lots of action, Morgan, and then we've still got a pile of wool. The bales have been a bit lighter this year. I mean, not this year, but this morning compared to yesterday. So the reason behind that?
This wool's been pressed and it's let out of the edges and it's been pressed again. So the springiness, it's getting springier. It's like a spring getting pressured up and released and pressured up. There's a lot of give and take in this wool. Interesting part about the rules of pressing, if you're underweight, you lose more points than if you're overweight. So the scale is, if you're 1 kilo underweight, you lose 3 points. If you're 1 kilo overweight, you only lose 1 point. So this here, the loading the boxes, is probably the easiest mentally, but it's the hardest to get it right. We'll go back to the shearing.
Okay, here we are, shearers on the board, please. Come on, guys. We have a green light. Timekeepers are right. Judges, competitors, go. Heat number 2 at the moment. Onto the board, Pete Spillman. He says, I'm right in there now. I've picked out the sheep that I wanted first. Conan Takini from Tamaranui. On stand number 2, settled into the job nicely. Big, strong, powerful shearer. And then we've got Simon Goss. There on the middles, in the middle 3. Sweeps up, good quality shearer, this young fella. From Mangamahu these days. Originally from Apathy. Down on stand number 4, we have Patch Puna. Just a young shearer, this fella from Napier. Settling into the job nicely. Down on 5, Catherine Maluli from Matawai up there in Gisborne. And from Tamaranui on the far end, we've got Wananaki Whare. They're doing pretty well, these guys. Let's just watch that time very carefully in the first heat. Saw how the sheep were laying for the shearers. what sort of comb was being used. They get that nice polished cut across, or a good shear there for Conan, and he got that one down the porthole. 1 minute 16. Pretty sharp for the first one for these senior shearers, but they know they've got to put it all up there on the board this morning, so that they need to make that second round. After this senior shear, sponsored by Agrifert, we will have the junior shearing semi-final. So those shearers make sure they're all here and ready to go. We have about 7 heats in this event, where those junior shearers will be shearing before lunch. Maluli down the far end, good quality shearer, this young lass. In the pressing event and the wool handling yesterday as well, so down the first off leg she goes. Another one on the board for stand number 6. Whanaki Whare. Beautiful strokes down the first off leg. The big undermine coming up with a couple of lovely shots. Good straight up the backbone. He's put in 3. The big sheep here in the Wairarapa. Well fed up to the last couple of 3 weeks. The tucker's gone a little bit dry by now, but there's still enough goodness in the grass to keep these sheep doing well. A little bit of music in the background. The shearers like that, just to calm themselves down. That's what happens in the shed. And they have the old beat going just to get the rhythm. They're laying in it for Pete Spillman. Up the long blow he goes. Some of the longest blows in the sheep, or the way these shearers take the big undermine these days, probably the longest blow is from the top of the shoulder down and out to the flank on the last side. See, right up over the tail, almost to the shoulder. Conan Takini there was putting those blows on the undermine. Shifting his feet. He'll be turning his toes in as he moves around now to drop that sheep down into the long blow. Getting that left foot right under the front shoulder of that sheep, so he can keep a little bit of pressure on, hold her onto the floor. He's in control, and that's what you need to be, shearing in that little half-metre circle up there on the stage. 5 sheep to shear. They're doing very well. Over the shoulder on the last side, Patch Puna. Full of concentration, these fellas. And he's got the old jewellery swinging underneath his chin there, and he's hoped that's going to bring him good luck. Well, you need a bit more than good luck to get through to the next round. You need constant shearing awareness. The right hand must keep that handpiece flat on the skin. Those 13 teeth must glide across the top of the skin. There's a 4-prong cutter on that handpiece, and that nips the wool off. We want it cut as close to the skin as possible. Any second cuts to the wool, the size of a card like your ATM card, and that's a point you've lost. Second cuts to the wool are no good for us in the wool industry. The farmer wants the high value product cut off clean, so he can at least get a nice cup of tea at the end of the week. Out the last leg now comes the man on stand number 6, Whanaki Whare. I think this Conan Takini, though, he's going right hammers and tongs. He's got the beat. Look at him swooping down that last side. He's doing very well. He's going to be the first in for number 5. Maluli down there, she's at the undermine. Achieved for her on sheep number 4. They've all got, still got Simon Goss. Trying to keep the quality down to a minimum. Doing that pretty well at the moment. But he knows that every 20 seconds he's behind the fastest shearer in this grade. It's going to cost him another point in time. First time in the senior competition for Simon. I've watched him come through the grades as from a school child through to the young man he is today. Swooping out that last leg. He's popped the head forward just to make it easy for himself. One over the tail, he lets it down, he goes in for another one. The wool pressing, you're on the crank down there, Gerald, by the look of it.
Oh, we're on crank down, all right, John. Sam Tiffany from Apia Tour. She's gonna need a hand, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it becomes hard at this stage. She's still on the 3-click stage, but I'll tell you what, if you've handled these presses, when it gets to about that stage there, you're gonna start dropping down to 1. There she goes, she's on to 1. She's back to 2. 1.
She's on
2.
right on the end of it,
Keep bringing it down,
Gerald. She knows how levers work. She's getting every little ounce of pressure. But here comes Kushla Abraham. Come on, Kush. Mum's cheering you on. Your whole family's there cheering you on, Kush. One little safety check. To flick that bit of wool out of the way and back into the crank down. Look at the power this girl's got. She's been training all year for this. Pressing day in, day out in the sheds. Look at her go. Come on, Kushla. Don't let that Sam get ahead of you. She's catching you, Sam. Look, who's going to win this race, Gerald?
Come on, Sam, swing off that bar. Get it down, Sam. Come on, children. Don't forget you're back in Kushla. Go, Kushla. Go, Kushla. Go, Kushla. Come on, go, go, go. There you go. Go, Kushla. Sam's just about finished. Keep it going. Go, Kushla. Go, Kushla. Come on, Kushla Abraham.
Here comes Kushla.
She needs your help.
Slamming that bar down.
She needs your help. Keep going, kids. This is the most vital stage now. Sammy's just about wrapped up. She's down to her last little click. Keep going, kids. Don't give up on her. We're backing her. We're helping her spiritually. We're giving her strength, some chi energy. Go, Kushla. The box is up for Sammy. How's the shearers going? They're getting some sheep shorn. There's lots happening at the Golden Shears, as it always is. There's plenty of action, and fantastic to see these youngsters in here. 2 more clicks. Keep it going, children. She needs lots of chi energy. Now's the time. It's a semi-final. What's going on over there, Morgan? What's Sammy up to? She's running from to and fro. Thanks, kids.
Sammy Jo's got her pins up, and she's pulling the fadge out. She's going to clip up. Watch out, Sammy, because here comes Kushla. That box pops up easily for her. She's got that plate nice and flat. She's done this before. Come on, Sam, slam those pins through and clip this bale up. I reckon your weight looks pretty good from what you've left behind. 150 kilos is the target. How confident's Kushla? There's a little grin on her face. We're hanging out for the way up now as the shearers finish.
Shearers doing the finishing touches. Who we got up there? Puna on sheep 5, and Ronnie Goss, the Goss name once again, taking stage at the Golden Shears. But at the moment on the stage we've got Sammy. She's still sucking air from pulling this bale down, rather than trying to drive those pins in there. How's Kushla getting on the far side? She's gasping for air too. Lifts the flap up. Now, of course, capless packs. It's been like this for a long, long time, but once upon a time you had to sew a cap on them. But now you drive these through. Those little staples that go on the top will never end up as a contamination. There you go. As we get drawn out by a big magnet when it goes through the wool scour. Banging those pins through. Finishing touches on the shearing board. Come on, Kushla. Give it everything you got. There we go. Drive that through.
Sam, cheer her on. She can hear you. Your whole family's right here behind you, Kush.
Go.
They're watching for any little mistake. They're watching closer than the judges. But they've got faith in you. All the whole front row is all Gordons here. They're all here right behind you. Come on, Kush.
Heat 3.
Sammy's taking the top plate off.
Heat 3 down here, please. Come on, guys. You're not waiting in the wings, so that's going to cost you time on the board.
Heat 3 on the board now, please. Elan Jones, Connor Devoy, George Hawkins, Bruce Potaka, David Gordon, Roy Elliott. Heat 4, Andre Cooper, Jerome Boys, Isla Jones, David Kirkpatrick, Aaron Bell, Thomas Lima. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick announcement for our top 16 open wool handlers in order of qualification: Joel Hanare, Marianne Batty, Tia Potai, Leisha Atkinson, Radapu Moore, Karen Herbert, Chelsea Collier, Ronnie Goss, Candy Hirry, Leonora Smith, Pagan Rimini, Cherie Alabaster, Angela Wakely, Rachel Hutchinson, Funi Waihapi, and Eramaha Niho. So congratulations to those semi-finalists in the open wool handling. That will be, semi-final will be Saturday morning, I believe. Just a quick reminder, any late entries in the open shearing, can you guys get them in now, please? It makes life a lot easier on us if you can get your late entries in as early as possible.
To get your late entries in early. What a way to go, hey? Yeah, just get your entries in early, full stop, is what we require here for these shearing competitions. These women are working away down the far end. The shearers are on the board. We have a green light. We'll set these shearers away and then we'll come back to the pressing. Okay, everybody happy? Timekeepers are good. Judges, competitors, go. That's heat 3 underway now. We get Ian Jones here on the front stand from Wales, Connor Devoy from Auckland on stand number 2, Masterton's Georgie Hawkins on number 3. On 4, Bruce Botaka from Masterton, Masterton's David Gordon down on stand number 5, and on 6 we've got Roy Elliott, also from there up in Australia. He's one of the Australia contingents over here. So how are the pressing ladies going down there, guys? Looks like they're clipping up.
Sam's got a little bit of an issue there. She didn't quite get enough clicks on her bar. She's just got to clip that, get that fadge across, and the clips just won't quite reach for her. She's got the tool. She knows a few little tricks she's pulling out. Here comes Kushla. Cool, calm and collected, sneaking up. She's used to pressing while her brother's up there shearing. This is how they work together. It's a teamwork in the Gordon family. It's all teamwork. Sam's out the back eating or cooking a feed. Kushla's doing the pressing, and David and Joe are up there shearing, and Dad's on his way back from Aussie. He's going to be here to see you in the final, Kush. We'll see you there. No time to wipe the sweat away, just let it drip. Pull those last few clips across and we'll get a weight. I think you got it pretty good. Sam reckons you got it pretty good. Mum reckons one more armful would have been good. Back to the shearing, guys.
So once again we have these visitors from overseas, either end of the board. Jones from Wales and Elliott from Australia. Hey, they're testing themselves against these Kiwi shearers. There's been numerous overseas competitors throughout the younger grades. Not quite so many when we get up into the senior and the open, but they've stepped up the pace and they're loving every moment of it here. Jones comes up over the top. He's right on the money. Sheep number 2 on the board. Round the back of the head comes Connor Devoy. Keen has mustered these guys. Make sure have we got heat number 4 waiting down here on the side. Because if you can help us out by saving us time, we can afford more time to look after you. And that's the name of the game. So be honest, come down here and wait on the left-hand side of the stage. Here we are turning for home here on the top. The judges revolve along the board. They're looking for second cuts to the wool fibre. That wool up there is around about 100 or maybe 90 mils long. As they remove it from the sheep, we want it removed in one shot of the comb and cutter. So we can, then the wool handlers will add the value to it by taking out the frib wool, and then we'll package it off to the wool store and get it sold across and around the world.
Time taken for Kushla Abraham, 22 minutes. And Sam's right there with her. Just a little bit of homework left to do for Sam. She's going to tuck the ears in on her bale. Look at this bale of Kushla's though. It's perfectly square. There's not a fault in it. The judge hasn't even used his pen on the judging sheet. It's perfect.
Well done,
That's what
Sammy.
you want to see.
Yeah, the cosmetics are good too, Morgan, aren't they? Sammy had to work really hard. She did an extra clip to pull it down. She couldn't get these caps to meet the the stable's only so long and she just couldn't pull it over. So now we're down to the weights, ladies and gentlemen.
145. The woman's pressing weights a little bit lower than the men's, guys. Are they right on the money or what?
Kushler's weight, this bang on for the blokes, 159.5.
Ooh.
She's used to competing against her brothers, you see.
Well, it's
150's a target. And Sammy's bail, we'll wave it in a sec. Guys, if you give us another second. It's a good heavy bail too. Ooh, Gerald, what's your prediction?
Very close. I would say just under 150.
He's got a good eye. 147.5.
There you have it.
Well done, Sam.
My moment of glory. Well done, Sammy.
So here we are, sheep number 3 on the board for these guys now. Time sneaking away on them, 4 minutes and 53. That doesn't feel quite as fast as the last one, but they've got a shear within themselves. They need to be able to keep that board points up there. You can see a 1.2 and a 1.6 and a 1. That's an average second cuts across the 5 sheep that with the computer will compile by the end of their shear. So that's a good shear so far for some of our shearers. There's not too much between the whole 6 of them really. Come across the Australian down the far end. He's taking his time, but he's making it perfect. Rolling across that shoulder, the money side of the sheep. He's got sheep, what number on the board? Can't quite see the judges in the row, but sheep number 4 on the board for the rest of them. Bar stands 5 and 6. Potaka from Masterton. And he's making those arms pump down that last side. The sheep starting to squirm on him a little bit. A little bit more left-handed pressure. Keep your toes turned in so your knees are working for you on that last side. Well, Jonesy swings round for home here. He's starting to let the brakes off a little bit. He realises the man behind him, Colin DeVoy, is out in front. He's got sheep number 5 in the belly off it.
Righto, heat 1 of the Piers semi-final. Vinny and Jeremy Goodyear versus Cam and Jono Hicks. They've been racing all the way. What a matchup.
So here we have the full woolshed sort of situation. We have the shearers up here competing. We have the wool handlers down in front. They're adding value to the wool, and then the presses down the back are baling it up, and we package it off to market. This is what happens right throughout the country. 365 days a year, or maybe a couple off for Christmas. Up the long blow now, Conor DeVoy. Used to be a whole heap of sheep in New Zealand, 78 to 80 million odd back in the late 80s. Nowadays, we're struggling to reach 30, 35 million in total. Down the last side they come here on stand number 2. Making it look easy. He's got a sheep round the rest of the field down there on 5 and 6. Doesn't look he's going very fast, but he just controlled that handpiece and glided it through. Inky picked his sheep there from David Gordon, the young Masterton man, and his younger brother shearing in the novice final last night. Over the shoulder on the last side comes George Hawkins. He's seen 1 or 2 of these woolies in his time. Look at him rocking down that last side, full of concentration. The Australian brings out his 5th and final one. Ian Jones from Wales. Out the last leg for him. They turn around and they reach for that little buzzer button, the red stop button. Hit the button if you finished your number. There goes Potaka. He's in for his 5th and final. The last one to get that in. Next heat we have sitting down here on the left, do we? Can't see too many. What's going on? Where are those senior shearers for heat number 4? And the Agrifert.
Yeah, heat 4, please. Ready to take the stand. Andre Cooper, Jordan Boys, Isla Jones, David Kirkpatrick, Aaron Bell, Thomas Lima. Heat 5, Linton Palmer, Raymond Smith, Bevan Perry, Hinare Niania, Dylan McGrady, Pagan Rimini.
So just another reminder for you shearers, you are your own timekeeper up there on stage. There's a little red button between the porthole and the catching pen door that you are required to give it a bit of a nudge at the completion of your sheep number. That stops your time clock. Because every 20 seconds you go on after that, you lose another point. So look after yourself in the point stakes by hitting your red stop button at the completion of your sheep number. I know you get a bit of stage fright up there and you're just pleased to get those last of those woolly monsters done. But we like to see those flashing lights. They're the ones that don't cost you too much. Those other ones outside that flash, they tend to cost you a little bit. Last blow in there for Bruce Potaka. He hits the button. Well done, guys. You move off to the right, please, and we'll have our next heat on from the left.
On the board, heat 4, please. Andre Cooper, Jordan Boys, Isla Jones, David Kirkpatrick, Aaron Bell, Thomas Lima.
$500 for the pair. First prize, $300 a second. This is the semi-final. No, I'm just
So we'll get this heat underway, of course, and then no doubt the pressing pairs will be setting lights. So just give us a couple of moments to get this shearing underway, and then we'll come back to the pressing. There we have the names of heat number 4 on the board. You're allowed to assist your shearer by cheering him on. It's a lonely world up there. It's just the shearer, the sheep and the judge. Under those bright lights it can get quite hot. So give them a hoot and a holler and make sure they're keeping their head down. Okay, we've got a green light, guys. Come on. You're mucking around setting your gear up. I'm sure you wouldn't be doing that in the shed. On the board. Number 3. Timekeepers are good. Judges. Competitors, go. Righto, we're off and going here. We're going to just introduce these fellows onto the board. We've got from Masterton, we've got Andre Cooper here on the front stand. On stand number 2 from Owaka, Jordan Boys, Aled Jones from Wales on stand number 3. David Kirkpatrick from Gisborne on stand number 4. On number 5, Aaron Bell from Waipawa. Down on stand number 6, Thomas Lima from Levin. So how are the pressing guys lining up down there? Looks like you're warming up with a few steps. Set them a light down there.
Rightio, thanks John. Yes, the target weight is 160 kgs. We've got Jeremy and Vinny Goodger. We've got Cam and Jono Hicks. We've got judges are ready. Timekeepers ready. Presses. Semi-final. On your mask, set, go. Rightio, we're underway. Farmlands and Woolpacks New Zealand sponsored event. You watch this teamwork. These boys have bounced around this stage numerous times. It's friendly rivalry, but is there a friendly rugby game? I've never played in one yet, so I'm not too sure there's going to be a friendly peers semi-final challenge amongst these two teams. Here we go. Watch them pick up this wool, ladies and gentlemen, as they roll it and knit it together. Cam. Hui, look at that. Wow, just bent straight over and straight up. They have super duper trunk muscles. If you know what they are, big muscles down the back of your spine. Their muscles are super big. They have a big groove down there from picking all that wool up. They are serious athletes, ladies and gentlemen. We've got athletes on stage. We've got 6 marvellous shearers. Look at Jeremy Goodger. Woohoo! What a handful that was. Take that, young brother. You get that stomped. You get in every possibly corner you possibly could. Oh, Morgan, here you go, mate. Where you been? The actions all go.
The problem these guys have got, you pick up that much wool in an armful, you're going to overfill these presses. Look at that. Jeremy Goodyear, he is a professional. Look at him go. He's half filled that box in one armful. Come on, Cam. Breathe through that moustache. He has got a brilliant moustache, doesn't he, Gerald?
Oh, fantastic. I tell you what, if you fell asleep, I reckon, in the wool when I saw that last bundle go in there, Jeremy would pick you up without even knowing so and chuck you in there and start pressing you up. Jeremy Goodger now in the box. They're going to take turns on the tramping. I tell you, I can't explain it more clearly. When you start tramping wool, when it's got a spring in it, it just sucks the energy out of it like a lux. It just soaks it up. And the wool was exceptionally springy. We're targeting 160 kgs. Really, this is a final. It could be a final within a semi-final. Action apiece. They're both on the second box at this stage. Young Jono, you watch his footwork. He's as good as Ali. He bounces round there, and he's got a sting like a bee as well, ladies and gentlemen. As he starts, here we go. We've got the wind-up with the help from the 2-metre-tall Goodjar. Morgan, what are
Those
you
little
thinking?
armfuls from Jono, quick little armfuls. They're not as big, but they're a lot quicker. He can put 3 armfuls in the time. Jeremy puts one armful in. Look at him go. Look at the speed of that movement he's got. Up go the Goodgers, and here come the Hicks boys. They're going to wind up now too. Here comes Cam Hicks on the broom. Look at him go. He's a natural on that broom. That broom does exactly what it's like. It's got a life of its own. Dancing around the press here. Come on, Jono, crank that box up. Here comes Cam. Working perfectly in unison, Gerald.
Oh, they are two totally different styles, but there's lots of great shearers that have totally different styles as well. Some people do it nice and smoothly, standing still. Some people chuck their body all over the place, but the end result is a well-shorn sheep really quickly. Well, in this case, we've got the smooth runners here, and we've got the ones that are chucking their body all over the place on this press here. But he's getting hauled down. Jeremy, the big brother, comes in. Stand back, young fella. I'll take over. It's my time to shine under the sun. The pair of them attack it. Oh, Morgan. It's the Golden Shears. It's getting near lunchtime. We're starting to warm up. We've got some massive events ahead of us. Here we go. The top box is coming off. Wind that round. Get that out of the way. We've got some pins to go through there. You watch these pins go through in that cap, ladies and gentlemen, these little grooves. But what happens when you've got 160 pound of wool or kgs are springing up against it? It gets inside those grooves, and you've got to drive those pins forward. It doesn't just go through there. Here we go. Watch the muscles on this man. He lines it up. The cameras are ready. He's live streaming. There could be 30,000 people watching at the moment. Boom. Straight through. What's happening down here? Morgan of the Hicks boys.
Boys are getting the job perfect. They're all about safety. They're not going to lose a single point for safety here.
Excuse me, guys. Catherine Maluli.
Working
Catherine
together.
Maluli to the pressing, please.
Catherine Maluli, another one. She's a very busy lady. But right here, Jeremy just gives it a couple shoves. Vinny says, right, it's time to get the clips on. This is teamwork. This is a father and son job. It's two brothers, but fathers and sons, where you can just work your way all day without really communicating because it's subconscious. You've been doing it all your lives. A Dad and Dave job, that's all messy. Anything that's pear-shaped. But talking about putting some power into it, they ate 2 or 3 pears this morning, the Hicks boys. They're happy. Jono, you commentators, get out of the way. We've got action apiece here. Don't get in my way or I'll take you out. Those little wee steps are mine. onto the pins. Jeremy Gutcher. Ladies and gentlemen, start making some noise at semi-final time. Down with the top box. Morgan, what are you thinking at this stage?
Look at the skill this Cam Hicks has got. They're catching up. The outcome for pins were good years. What the time gone is only 5 minutes 53. What a time. Hicks boys have still got the ride up to go. The pins are going slamming in.
Oh yeah!
Time taken. 6 minutes 04.
Well, these senior shearers can't even
Well
shear
done.
5 sheep in that time. But what a fantastic effort from down there in the Preston Arena. So here we're back onto the board now. We get Andre Cooper coming across the shoulder on the last side. Change of gear there for the man on stand over 4. Kirkpatrick goes in. Yeah, he forgot to tuck himself in when he got out of bed this morning. He'll get a sheep foot hooked up in that singlet, and that could be catastrophic. Sheep number 5 completed. Hit the button, hit the button. You need to hit the button. That's the story. Your time stopped. Good stuff. Down here on stand number 2, boys on his last sheep come across the shoulder on the money side. Jones from Wales into the first off shoulder now. Quite a difficult part of the sheep, but he swooped around and just screwed the sheep across the floor and managed to achieve that quite well. Over the shoulder on the last side here in stand number 5. It's Aaron Bell. Thomas Lima. No, he's got the old silver fox look about him, and he steps up the neck now. Stand number 6. Around the back of the head and sweeping towards that first off shoulder. Using his knee to hold the neck of the sheep as he rolls the handpiece around the back of the ear. Left hand's not quite sure which part to hold. It just depends which part's going to start flapping around as he drops into the off shoulder. Finishing touches for Elliot Jones along with Kirkpatrick from Gisborne. Inky Pinky sheep from the Welshman, by golly. Now, we talk about Inky Pinky. That's a nice close shave. You can tell the gear's going really well. So the Hickses are doing pretty well down the far end there.
Oh yeah, still happening down here, ladies and gentlemen. They're up against a couple of legends, but they're legends themselves. They're starting to shine under the spotlight too. They're doing the finishing touches to their bale. Look at how tight that bale is, ladies and gentlemen. The target weight is 160 kgs. Now, the interesting thing, you want to find out how hard they work. You listen to the bang and the pop when they pull those pins. That wool was desperate to get back up, and they've had to pull that down and stamp it in every single corner. They got the bale. Oh, he was thinking about using the bale hook, and then he did. We don't want to go on about it, but he thought, oh, safety first. We know all about that. That's all good.
I think they got a problem. They're using the wool hook to pull the other sleeve over.
Yeah, that is a problem, John, from all sorts of angles. Anyway, we won't remind them of that. We've got one pushing, one pulling. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a hand. The 2 Hicks boys, Jono and Cam. Yes, we need some applause. Go. Pull, my pull. It's tight. 160. They haven't had their cup of coffee just yet. They need to have that honky-tonk chicken down at the Lone Subway. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. You watch this door pop. Boom. Look at that wool. Desperate to come out of there. Out she comes. Finishing touches now. Jono's been tidying up. Cam's been doing the staples and getting things organised. We're down to the housekeeping, the cosmetics, plucking, pushing, pulling, under the watch wire, the judges, and 200 or 300 people. The spotlights. We've dropped a couple of staples. They need to be picked up. Hands are in the air, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a mighty round of applause.
Yeah, thank you, Gerald. Moving
9
on,
minutes.
senior shearing. We're into heat 5. Linton Palmer, Raymond Smith, Bevan Perry, Hanare Niania, Dylan McGrady, Pagan Rimini. 5 sheep to shear, heat number 5. Heat 6 in our senior, Paul Hodges, Tom Perry, Stuart Davison, Lloyd Rees, Kieran Devane, Cruiser Webb. Just a reminder, please, senior shearers, or all shearers for that matter, please try and refrain from putting handpieces on our chairs out there, getting oil all over the upholstery, so just keep that in mind, please.
Righto, the Hicks brothers, their bail was 155 from a target of 160. The Goodyear brothers were 167.5. A good, strong title. We've got the girls versus the boys now. Kushler and Catherine versus Conan and Vinny.
Okay, we'll set these shearers alight. They're all standing on the board. Well, they will be. Stands 3, 4 and 5. Hit the board, please. Come on, Bevan. You'll only get hurt in there. One of those big sheep will stand on your toe. And we can't have that because the St. John's ambulance are up the back here and they don't really want to have to do any work today. Stands 4 and 5, please. Oh, the referee was in there while... And he was trying to pull the wool over Johnny Fraser's eyes. No chance. We have the time, green clock. We've got the thumbs up. Timekeepers are good. Judges, competitors, go. Well, I think Tuma Mullins's in the audience somewhere. Has he got a microphone turned on or has he gone out to find Mavis?
Oh, good morning, John. Yes, been a little bit busy. We had the open Woolhandling primary ITO with the sponsors of that this morning. We've got our 2 primary ITO ladies in the stadium. If you're wanting to register for a shearing, a wool handling or a pressing course, come and see these ITO ladies. We've got Sarah and Shona here. They are very keen. Wendy, not Shona. Wendy's the better looking one. But we've got these ITO ladies here. They are keen to let you guys know that there is training still available to you, whatever your class is. And it's all done through the NZQA system. So you will get all the appropriate paperwork and stuff that comes along with it. She's a paperwork day and age these days, John. You can't do anything without having to have a bit of paper by your name.
Well, you did right there. It means you might get a job over somebody that if you've had a little bit of experience, you can upskill at these courses and maybe get a job ahead of somebody that is unprepared to do the advanced training. So here on the front stand we have Linton Palmer from Dipton. The big strong young man was in the pressing yesterday on Thursday afternoon. Ramon Smith from Gisborne on stand number 2. Bevan Perry from Gisborne on stand number 3. Narare Near from Gisborne on stand number 4. Dylan McGruddy from Masterton on stand number 5. And another one of our female contestants, Pagan Rimini, on stand number 6 from Masterton. Now, I tell you what, 405 sheep they're allowed to shear up to in this senior class. That's a bit of an increase, Tuma, on what we used to do back in the days where it was only 330. Hey, they upped the price, up the numbers because the sheep are so jolly good shearing these days and the gear's improved that much that these shearers just seem to go faster and faster all the time.
Yeah, that's right, John. You're exactly right. It is the gear. It's the training that's available to these guys. You know, if you get... go in and enroll in one of these primary ITO shearing courses. You know, I've seen a lot of young shearers, you know, they start off in the novice and then they go up a class every year. And a lot of it's through the training that's due, you know, that can be offered to them. And gear as well is also a big thing. You can get a comb, slap it straight on these days and you're into it. But yeah, 405 sheep in an 8-hour day, that is a lot of sheep. But there is a lot of these young guys that can do that fairly consistently. I see we got Henari and Near and Dylan McGruddy. They were both in the semi-finals of the quick shear last night. Ramon Smith. I think Pagan would have been in there too, but she was off getting married somewhere. That's Pagan down there on stand number 6, John.
Well, she's been in the wool handling this morning. She's all warmed up to the task. And she knows how to shear these Wairarapa sheep, by golly. What was the time in the speed shear last night, Tuma? They were probably shearing these sheep in something like about 30 odd seconds, were they, last night? "27 seconds for shearer, two-tooth ewe." By golly, that's fair scraping along. As Ramon Smith comes across the last side now, finishing touches to sheep number 2. They've got 5 to shear in this Agrifert sponsored senior shearing elimination round. This is heat 5.
I'll just sneak in and get our heat 2 of semi-final pairs pressing. Girls against boys, ladies against gentlemen. Kushla and Catherine against Taylor and James. We've got our judges ready, timekeepers ready, presses set, go.
How do you think that's fair? They're putting their boys up against these girls. These women can multitask, mate.
Yeah, it's hardly fair. I was thinking we should give the boys a 2-minute head start.
Yeah, well, that's what I was reckon. We'll see how it goes. Bevan Perry won the speed shear last night for the senior, so he's right on the money, this fella. He's already got $200 or $300 in his pocket from last night, so I hope you hang on to it as he goes down the belly now on sheep number 3. A little bit off the pace perhaps, just needs to whip it up. We've got the man from Dipton here, Linton Palmer. From down on the deep south, rolling out that last leg. Been coming to the Golden Shears for a while now as this man on stand number 1. Out the last leg he goes.
All right, just while Linton Palmer's getting rid of sheep 3 all the way from the deep south, he is all right. Just out from the side of Winton, we've got lots of action over here at the pressing. We have a semi-final time. This is the second heat of the semi-final. Have we got any ladies in the audience, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, we have. We've got some girl power right here. Look at this. We've got a top shearer. We've got a top wool handler. And together they are look at this, folks. Woohoo! They are going to be a top pressing team. Over here, what's happening here, it's a multitasking sort of area in the press there. We've got Taylor Brown. His full-time occupation is a chef. He says we'll get the eggs in there and we'll give them a beating. And then we've got James Goodger, and his full-time occupation is a baker, ladies and gentlemen. So we can multitask, all right? Look at the girls again, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies. Let's have some noise for them. They're in amongst the guys, the testosterone, the power, the strength, the muscles, the trunk muscles. Both girls in the bins, Morgan. Stomp, stomp, stomp.
Look how fit Catherine is. She is in peak physical condition. She could do 50 more of these bales and shear another 200 sheep. I've been told she does 400 ewes and lambs a day. This girl is a machine. She's born to work in the sheds. She can work all day. And Kushla Abraham, she can keep up with her. This is a frightening team, Gerald.
Frightening. Bit of knitting and crocheting there. They knitted that wool together to get a really good bundle. They look around and think, where next? Oh, there's plenty of wool to go to. The children are right in behind you, girls. But over here we've got James Goodger's got the cap on. The chef, Taylor Brown, into every corner. Come on, girls. Roll it over, knit it together once again. Ooh, boom. In she goes. Climb the mountain. Into the press you'll go. Squashing the cap down over here. We know we have a sensational fast time from the two Goodgers in the heat before. And the Hickses, they may pull it off as well. It's going to come down to their time to shine under the sun, under the spotlight in the big final later on. A fair bit up for grabs. It's the Golden Shears. It's not every year you get to make a final at the Golden Shears. If you're a shearer, once you go up a grade, well, it gets more and more difficult. But here we are in the pressing. Taylor Brown getting into the corners. James Goodger saying, what's the call, mate? What's the call? Is that it? Is that the 160? What are we up to here? 158. A little bit more, mate. Put a wee bit more in there, James, and that was it. Is that the icing on the cake, as one would say? The girls are out of the bin, they're back on the floor. Morgan, how's your team going down here? Get out of the way, Gerald. Spain, you can make some noise. Make it from out the side, please. We've got work to be done. Get off my work area, I'll sweep you up. Morgan.
I don't know if those boys have got enough wool in there. There's quite a big pile left on the floor. Kushler's got a good tactic. She said, I'm going to put 160 kilos of wool in the press, crank it down and we'll win. It's easy, she told me. It's just simple maths. Here they go, she's starting to sweat. This is her second bale for the day. She's starting to enjoy it a bit now. The legs are pumping. Catherine's in there cleaning up. The boys are dropping their top box and the girl said, you better get a good head start. You're going to want a lot of time points because we've got our weight perfect, Gerald.
Perfect weight. If you're going to have a weight, rumour has it. I'm not into all the details. I'm just into action. Like a wee rock concert here. But if you're going to have weight, have it over. Less points for over than under because you've had to work a wee bit harder. Right, the cap's all hooked up over here. They're going to get the ropes on. No scales here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you've got to do it by your feet. You've got to do it by your eye. The wool is changing all the time. This wool's getting giddy. It's been beat up round and round in wool packs and back out and in wool packs. We were pressing from 7:30 yesterday right through to about 6 o'clock last night. We have had sensational entries right throughout all the grades and all events. Super duper stuff. Round goes the top box. Catherine says, hold on, Kushler. We're pushing it all out the far side. Push it back in there.
Well, Kushler told me you got to break some eggs to make an omelette, and she's not worried about making a bit of mess to get the perfect bale. They'll clean it up again in no time. The boys are into the crank down. Down goes James. Free flicks all the way, just pumping along. Taylor says, you'll be right there, mate. I'll give you a hand in a second. Here he goes. Two of them now on that bar. Easy does it, just leaning into it. Here comes Kushler. She said, you boys, you got to be fast because we're clean and we're doing the job right.
We'll just get underway. Thanks, Senior Shearing Heat 6. We've got 7 shearers on the board. Paul Hodges on 1, Tom Perry on 2, Stuart Davison, Lloyd Rees, Kieran Devane, Cruiser Webb. Heat 7, Caleb Foote, Guy Fraser, Jacob Moore, Darren Alabaster, Lee Harris, Tui Penny. Just quickly, junior semi-finalists. We'll be running the junior semi-final after the senior elimination heats. Heat 1 will be Jesse Barclay, Sam Davison, Reese Douglas, and Lisa Hugal Hunstad, Johnny Rees, Muradad Piers. So those competitors in the junior semi-final, be ready to go, please.
Rightio, I get the call from the side. Nice and quiet, but really polite but firm. It was, let's go, girls. Let's go. Catherine, shearing 400 sheep a day. Kushler, handling fleeces after fleeces. Judge giving them the call saying, girls, just watch this. Now they're away. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll give you a little bit of space. Do you want to start that heat up there?
Yeah, we'll crack them open here. Shearers on the board, please. Referee's giving me the all clear. We've got the green light. Stands 2 and 5. Need to see you this side of the board. Kieran and Tom. Come on, man. You in there, Kieran? Pull him out. We're getting through these heats this morning as we've only got one more to go. Stand 5 on the board, please. Shaking his head, he doesn't like doing something. Oh, we're going to get the referee back. You're too long in there and he found something. Must have been a bird's nest in the wool.
Come on, Kush. Come on, Catherine. Lean into it. There's still plenty of fuel in the tank. There's still room. These boys have made heaps of mistakes. Don't worry about the press mechanical breakdown. The judges are allowing for that. 3 more clicks and you're home. Clip it up. Slam those pins through. Hurry up, boys. Those girls are coming. They're breathing down your necks now. They're rushing around. They're getting a bit frantic, but they're catching you.
Okay, we're ready to go. Timekeepers are good. Judges, competitors, go. Heat number 6 on the board. Paul Hodges from Geraldine in the south. Tom Perry from Northern Ireland on stand number 2. On 3, Stewie Davison from Scotland. Lloyd Rees from Wales on number 4. Kieran Devane from Tai Happy on number 5. And Crazer Wed down there on stand number 6 from Napier. And there's plenty of sleeve on that young man. Is he going to make that sleeve work there as he rips the undermine open down there for the judge to peer in? These judges that come from far and wide on the country and across. We've got Australian visitors as well up on the board. They judging a multi-country event like this where we have so many overseas contestants here trying their skills at the Golden Shears in 2016. This event sponsored by Agrifert. And they're great to see them looking after the Golden Shears once again. Up the long blow, they're poking along together, and down there the girls are poking the pins in through, and the steel rods, are they getting them home and hard?
Oh, we're getting it all done down here, John. Catherine Maluli. Here we go. It's the last and final one. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get wool caught in there. It takes a lot of driving that baby through there. Give it, Catherine. 200 people, 400 eyes on you at the moment. Thinking, what do we do next? Well, we'll take the cap off. The boys are finished. Good work, Taylor Brown, the chef, and James Goodyear, the baker. But right here, they are in the semi-final of the double press at the, once again, Golden Shears, the pinnacle, ladies and gentlemen. Have they knocked the bugger off, they say? Not sure about that. Keep it a family show. We get our warnings before we come here. No swearing over these microphones. Here we go, weigh time, back to these girls. Let's get some focus on them. They've done exceptionally well. There's a lot of teams entered to get in here, and they've made the top 4. Come on, girls, keep it together. In for the clips. Kushla Abraham. Look at the muscles, that's it. Getting that leg back. Getting all the strength and body weight you can possibly, there we go. Pushing, pulling. How are we going for weights over there, Morgan?
We'll call them out together. We want these girls just going hard all the way.
Oh,
done job.
Fair enough. And they're doing it pretty easy over there. They're clipping up. We'll come back to the board. And Tom Perry doing the underground work there. Big shots up the middle of the back on the undermine. The Northern Ireland lad. First cheek coming off now down towards the difficult first off shoulder. Geraldine's Paul Hodges. 2 or 3 blows in front of him up here on the front stand. Another couple of shots behind to Stewie Davison on stand number 3. Lloyd Rees from Wales, he's probably swinging along in second spot at the moment. There's the back 3 down there are pretty close all together, pretty much blow for blow. Maybe 3 blows separate them. Looks like it's Kieran Devane from Tai Happy swinging out that last leg. Ooh, the old sheep, she just stiffens up a little bit and he's got to readjust. Shift the feet around and just make it more comfortable for that sheep so she's not sitting on a bit of a bone. A little bit of muscle way up the last leg. Come Hodges, he's putting the pace on up here in the front stand. But the ladies now, they're up with their hands down there, guys. It looks all good.
Right,
12 minutes taken for Kushla and Catherine to press the bail. That's pretty damn quick. Those boys were only just 2 minutes quicker. I'd be quite worried if I was them.
Well, how was the boys' housework? Was it as tidy as the young ladies?
Never. Nowhere. The boys' bail was 170.5.
I hope you're not showing favouritism down there now, Morgan.
I don't know how to. Here we go. Kushla and Catherine, are you happy with your bail? It's nice and square. There's a few little cheeky grins there.
What do you want, mate? 160.
153.5.
Ooh, of course, with the more points there below, more points there below, of course, gentlemen, in it, the higher the points taken off. Give them a way.
That's how it rolls. So it's up to the judges now, but once again, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the two girls. It's super that they've made the semi-final. You may see them again, but if we don't, thanks for having a go, and it's been fantastic having you up here.
Okay, here we go. Back on the board again. One more heat to go after this, and then we're on with the junior semi-final. And Paul Hodges from Geraldine just rocks off the long blow now. He's hit the money side of the sheep along with Stewie Davison. He's picked up the pace a little bit. Sheep number 3 almost completed, down on stand number 5 for Karen Devane. Quick hand there from Crazer Wed down there. He steps in. Hey, look at him. Loves it. Has a quick look down the board. He says, righto. I'm out in front. Can I hang in there? Hey, it's only this heat that I'm out in front. There could be a fellas in the other heats have gone faster. 5.5 minutes are gone. Out the last leg comes Tom Perry. Hodges drops one down the chute. And last to get the fourth sheep on the board is going to be Stewie Davison from Scotland. He says this is a little bit different from shearing up in the Highlands, where you shear out in the wind and the cold on the back of a trailer mostly these days. There's probably still one or two doing the blade shears over there. You get out in some of those hill blocks up in the Highlands. Down up over the big shots on the undermine for him, but he's at the back end of the field. Up over the top comes Tom Perry. Paul Hodges up in the front here. He's down under the first off shoulder. Kieran Devane from Ty Abbey on 5. Into the long blow he goes. These young shearers, they've probably got a bit of money invested in gear. Just be very careful with all your shearing gear around the traps and the next couple of days. Make sure it's locked away. It is your responsibility. Just be safe. As they come across those handpieces are worth $1,000. And they'll have 2 or 3 of the damn things. And then of course they'll have combs that are worth $35 to $40 each. Along with the cutters, they'll have a string of those combs, probably 25 or 30 or more. And they'll have 100 cutters as well. So you're looking towards $5,000 worth of gear for that these shearers will be looking after. Combs, of course, wear out. Cutters, of course, not quite so fast. Combs are likely to break a tooth if you're not looking after them. There's a lot of work goes into preparation for a show shearing.
So up next in the pressing, we've got the women's final. Kushla Abraham, she's already pressed 2 bales today. She's versus Arfina, and it's going to be a good battle. But we're going to have about half an hour break so Kushla can refuel, recharge, and have a quick final. Thank you, John.
Righto, back there on the board. So the pressing is going to take a little bit of a break now for now, and we'll see them closer to 12 o'clock. As we're now just about 10 past 11 and we're stepping forward up the neck here, and Paul Hodges on the front stand, sheep number 5 on the board. Oh, they're closed up a little bit. Tom Perry's right in behind him. Stewie Davison's hanging in there as well, but the pacemaker at the moment is going to be our man Lloyd Rees. The Welshman comes out the last leg. If those tallies are right on the chute, out the last leg on 6. This Kaiser Wed. Oh, hit the red button, do we? On stand number 4. Stand 4, stand 5, stand 6 are all done their job. Those blue lights are flashing means they've hit the red button. These other 3 shearers, you could put a broom over them. Look at them, they're very, very close. Down and out to the flank here on the front, maybe just half a shot in front of stand number 3. Stewie Davison's having a quick run home. Tom Perry from Northern Ireland sneaking out that last leg, and you can feel the strain of that sheep as she just tries to manipulate herself towards the porthole with the wool still on. Well, Tom says that's not happening. I've got it all. Down the chute now, darling. We'll catch you next year. Okay, guys, move off to the right and we'll get our heat number 7 onto the board.
Yeah, thanks, John. Heat 7, our final heat, ladies and gentlemen. The senior elimination heats. Caleb Foote on stand 1. Guy Fraser, 2. Jacob Moore. Shearing on 3. Darren Alexandra. Lee Harris. Tui Penny. And just those junior semi-finalists, be ready, please. I'll just quickly read your heats. Jesse Barclay, Sam Davison, Reese Douglas, Annalisa Hilgard Hunstad, Johnny Rees, Meridude Piers, Heat 2, Sam Powell, Brandon Maguire Ratama, Cologne McKinstry, Trent Heers, Ruka Braddock, James Webster. Heat 3, Connor Puha, Cody Gregg, Michael Osborne, Gwenon Davies, Jordan Hart, and Adam Edmonds.
Well, the big young fellas here down in the front are helping their whānau change the wool packs. They'll shift a bit of wool in a day or two. These fellas, look at them. They're like bulldozers in the wool industry.
We've got a stacked heat here. Guy Fraser, Caleb Foote, and the Australian Lee Harris is here too. Tui Penny, Darren Alexander, and Jacob Moore. This is some of the top 6 senior shearers in the country. We've seen all 6 of these names in finals around the country. This is a very exciting heat.
We have a green light. Shearers on the board. Stands 2-4.
Guy's found a pretty sheep in the pen.
Well, it'll look even prettier with its fluff off. We're good to go. Timekeepers are good. Judges, competitors, go.
Into the pen goes Guy Fraser. Jacob Moore rips his sheep out. He's first to get the belly off now. Jacob Moore's just sliding in there. All concentration. Darren Alexander, the Whanga Momoma man. He's cruising along out League 2. They all turn into the undermine together now. Tui Penny down the end. Who's going to set the early pace? It's hard to tell. Guy Fraser, those big muscly arms. He steps up the neck and he's away. Follow me, Jacob, he reckons. I'll show you the way, John.
Yeah, these young fellas are the first to enter this competition coming in the last heat. It's always an advantage because the sheep will be a little bit warmer and a little bit later in the day from when they started at 10 o'clock this morning. So just that little bit of experience is we'll get our money in first and we'll get that last heat. We can watch the rest of these shearers have a go, and we can peel it off in the last heat and make it through to the final. Well, they're as good a chance as any of the other 40 odd that have been before them this morning as they come across the last side here down on stand number 6. Under the shoulder comes Darren Alexander. He's been here before and he knows what's required. As we talked about, these young shearers have come up through the grades. They've been in finals. But here the Golden Shears, it's just another little bit more pressure added on here. The sheep can be very strong and have a will of their own as Darren Alexander, he probably wishes he was Darren Ford just at the moment, as he goes down the belly, the young man from out there in the eastern hills of Taranaki. In there with another change of sheep now for Lee Harris. He had a bit of a walk down the board before, thought he was in the previous heat, but he's back up there now and he's doing his job pretty right. Hey, you just keep an eye on those board points there on the top above the shearers. That tells you how they're going. We've got 0.4, 0.4, 0.2, 0.8, 0.4 and 1. That is the average number of second cuts per sheep over these 5 sheep. So it's pretty slick at the moment in the 1.5 sheep shorn.
Look at that Australian. He's enjoying these round Wairarapa crossies. No wrinkles there, but smaller than the Aussie crossies. And he's stepping up the neck. He's showing us a bit of style now. He's got the swish haircut. Jacob Moore cut it for him last night with a handpiece. He's looking pretty good. Jacob Moore's all concentration. He says, you better watch out, Guy. I'll make you suffer if you make a little mistake. But it's all Caleb Foot coming out the last leg now. On sheep number 2 by the Wairarapa man. He's got a half a blow round Darren Alexander and a bit of a struggle there. You've got to place these sheep down the porthole yourself. You can't be helped to do that. Caleb Foot's first out on the board with sheep number 3. Darren's right there with them as the rest of the field comes down the last side now. It's going to be Guy Fraser in for sheep number 3. He's beautifully shorn sheep. This bloke, he does it easy. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the final. He's a masterclass senior shearer. And right there with him, Darren Alexander. He's got a couple blows ahead now, but it's all Caleb Foot, John. Up the neck he goes.
Well, he's a big, tall, long shearer, and he wraps himself right around these sheep. Certainly, he knows how to do it. Full of concentration, breathing away. You can't just get up there and shear 5 sheep without taking a breath, and it keeps the brain ticking over. If you can suck in that air, it might be a little bit not too pleasant sometimes when you're going into the catching pen and you've got to try to get a lungs full of air, but you need to keep breathing to keep the brain ticking along, so your left hand know what the right hand doing and all that sort of stuff. You can shift your feet at the right time, adjust your stance to the way the sheep's performing. Up there over the big undermine now as Lee Harris steps forward at 3 off the top knot. Darren Alexander coming out the last leg. These fellas are starting to show a little bit of urgency. Hey, they reckon the heats previously were just a bit slow. Change of gear now for Caleb Foot. Guy Fraser comes over the top. Jacob Moore, any one of these 6 or the whole 6 could make that next step up into the semi-final. The Australian there on stand number 5, dropping into the long blow. Tui Penny down over the top he comes, sweeping away. What are we, sheep number 4 on the board here on the front stand, Morgan?
Yeah, Jacob Moore, he only has to grind half his comb at a time. He only ever uses those bottom 2 teeth. At the speed shear, occasionally he has to borrow one of Jimmy's combs because he's going to use the whole comb. He does a beautiful inky pink job. Look at his board points. He just knows how to make these sheep look their absolute best. If you're a stud farmer, Jacob Moore's the type of shearer you want to shear your sheep before sale. They come out looking perfect. But Guy Fraser, he's just as clean and he's a little bit quicker today. He had a good breakfast and he's away. Up the neck he goes. He says, don't slow down, Caleb. You've set a good pace, but I'm right here with you. Into the pen goes Lee Harris. He's got sheep number 4 out on the board. He's starting to enjoy himself now. Tui Penny's into the undermine on his 4th sheep. Darren Alexander clears the cheek and coming down over the brisket. Starting to flow now as he clears that shoulder into the flank on the last side he comes. That sheep's folded up nicely. She's sitting well and she's going to end up with her nose halfway down the porthole. He's just got his pattern sorted, but it's all Caleb Foot, the man on stand number 1. He's got his 5th and final sheep on the board. He's had a good shear. He's got good quality points. Bouncing into the pen goes Darren Alexander. 5th sheep on the board. In goes Guy Fraser, the lady killer. Guy Fraser from Tauranui. The ladies' favourite in the crowd, John.
Oh, that's a bit of a tough call. Hey, I think that man, you might be doing justice to him, I'm unsure, but I'm sure that his girlfriend won't like to hear that if he's a lady slayer. But he comes up over the top. He's a lady slayer here today because he's got this young female right where he wants it, sitting on her backside, and he's around removing the clothing off it, and he's doing a marvellous job. Look at him swinging around into that difficult part of the sheep now. Sheep number 5 on the board. Into the big long blow shots. 3 little short ones and 3 big long ones. Gets one shot right over that backbone. He's picked up the pace. Look at him. He's hammering it home now, trying to make some sort of advantage, and he's scoring still reasonably well. Or not too well, as the case may be, because you need to keep those points as low as possible. When he comes under the shoulder and down and out to the flank, and if that's true to the colour, true to the number, he's going to get off this job first in line. Look at him, hits the button about now. Well shorn, by golly, Guy Fraser. That's a bit of a speed up. And out, who's going to do second place is going to be Callum Foot from up on the front stand. Darren Alexander Was right on the money earlier, but just dropped back on that last sheep. Swoops it out. Oh, golly, there's a little bit of a fluff there. He says, I better take that off, otherwise I'll get whacked down the bottom. Over the top on the last side now comes Jacob Moore. Up the top now comes the Australian. He's a little bit back off the pace. Down the far end, Tui Pene is coming off the last shoulder now, the money side of the sheep. Beautiful stuff. Hey, this is the heat number 7, the last heat of the senior elimination round, sponsored by Agrifert. And well shorn there from Jacob Moore. Just the Australian. And down on stand number 6, Tui Pene puts in the last shot. Great quality shear of these young fellows. Look at them. They are 2s, 1.6, 2.4, 2.8, a 2. That's the average number of second cuts per sheep. And just look on the outside job, Guy Fraser got a 5.2 outside. So he's under the 30 threshold, which is going to help him in the final wash-up. He can pretty much assured that he's going to make through to the final, or the semi-final, I should say. Junior semi-finalists, make sure you're ready to go. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all those senior shearers. Come on, there was some good shearing up there from these young fellas. They make it look easy. Okay, Rick, next on the card is the junior semi-final.
Yeah, thanks, John. We'll be moving right along, ladies and gentlemen, with our junior shearing semi-final, 3 heats. And we'll just change the wool over. And if we could have those competitors ready to take the board, please. Jesse Barclay, Sam Davison, Reese Douglas, and Lisa Hildard Humstead, Johnny Rees, Meredith Pures. If those 6 competitors just line up at the steps, please. And we'll be underway with the first semi-final in our junior event. Heat 2, Sam Powell, Brandon Maguire Ratama, Cologne McKinstry, Trent Hughes, Ruka Braddock, James Webster. Just to call also intermediate semi-finalists, make sure you're available. The intermediate semis will be run after the junior, so make sure you're ready, guys.
PGG Wrightsons are the sponsors of the junior shearing semi-final. Thank you very much to PGG. There's a change of sheep, ladies and gentlemen, so a change of wool. So that's why these wool stewards are pulling wool out of those fadges and taking it away, because it's a change of mob, John. Cut out. She's a cutout.
Well, yeah, that sort of happens, all right. We've got sheep this time from Ngātahuna. So kindly supplied for this PGG Wrightson junior semi-final. Okay, looks like we're ready to rock. We welcome our shearers up onto the board, please. Happy goes, people. One of our big sponsors here, of course, is Lister. They're supplying the machines. Great to have them on board. There's all their staff here helping out here at the Golden Shears.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cross live to the women's singles wool pressing finals at the conclusion of this first heat. We'll get them underway, and so that'll be in about...
Yeah, matey. I could watch pressing all day, as long as I don't have to do it.
150 kilos is...
That's a good pump down for a young lady.
And the women are really stepped up to the plate this year, so we'll just give those girls a little bit of time to get yourselves organised, and we're back to you guys.
Okay, we got a green light up there. Quick look at your sheep, fellas, and we'll have you on the board. The clock's against us. Well, Norwegian lass, she says, I'm looking over the pen. That's close enough for me. On the board, please, gentlemen. One out, all out. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. First heat of the PGG Wrightson Junior semi-final. Timekeepers are right. Judges, competitors, go.
Well, John, just looking up on the board, there's a bit of international flavour here. I see we've got Jesse Barclay, he's from Wyndham. So he's a Kiwi. We've got Sam Davison, he is a local boy from Masterton. We've got Rhys Douglas there, he's from Wales. He's got the dragon tattoo probably on his heart. We've got Annalise Humstead, she's from Norway. And the two Ian guys, they're Welsh boys as well. I think there was, out of the 18 that went through to the semi-final, I think there was 8 of them were Welsh. So that's how strong the Welshies are in this lower grade. And even up through into the higher grades as well. The foreign guys are getting over here, they're sharing a few seasons, learning off the best that we've got. And making through into these semi-finals and finals. But here we go, this is the junior class. PGG Wrightsons are the sponsor. The juniors, it's not all about the speed. It's more about keeping the quality right, keeping that bottom tooth on the skin, staying above the skin, not going underneath it, is the biggest thing with these juniors. A lot of these young shearers have probably had one season on the stand. You know, they're starting to get a bit of a pattern going on. They're probably learning a little bit about gear. And that's the biggest thing. So keep